And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. You're watching the Stag Sports Network. We are coming to you from University Field on the campus of Fairfield University for the final regular season home match for Fairfield Field Hockey, as today they welcome in Stonehill for what is a win-and-in situation for Fairfield Field Hockey. If they get the result today, they're guaranteed in the Northeast Conference Tournament. For Stonehill, they need a win and help elsewhere. Fairfield can still qualify with results happening elsewhere. More on that later, as today an extremely important pregame show that I'll have for you on the Stag Sports Network, as this is the final home game under the tenure of the longest-serving head coach in Fairfield Athletics history. That is Jackie Kane, as she will take charge of her 262nd and final home game on the campus of Fairfield University, as she is retiring after the conclusion of this, her 30th season at the helm of Fairfield Field Hockey. We, of course, throughout the course of today's broadcast will highlight some of her great accomplishments that she has done leading this program to national prominence over the years. But this is all about Jackie, so what we are going to do is we're going to allow you at home, and we appreciate everybody who's watching from elsewhere all around the world as well here on the Stag Sports Network, to enjoy the festivities. I will rejoin you live on commentary coming up right after the national anthem, but when we are all set and ready to go, we will send it over to our public address announcer, Jack Jones, for today's proceedings.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to University Field on the campus of Fairfield University for today's NEC Field Hockey matchup between Fairfield University and Stonehill College. Before we introduce the starting lineups, we ask you to turn your attention to the team bench area for a special presentation. Today will be the final home game for head coach Jackie Kane, who announced at the beginning of the year that she will retire at the end of this season, her 30th year at the helm of the Fairfield University Field Hockey program. During her tenure, the Stags have won more than 250 games, captured 5 conference postseason tournaments, and advanced to the NCAA championship 5 times. Under her tutelage, the field hockey team became the second Fairfield team to win an NCAA tournament game when it defeated nationally ranked American University on this field in 2019. Following that year, she was named the NEC Coach of the Year as well as the NFNCAA Regional Coach of the Year. For 30 years, she has guided her student athletes to reach their goals on campus and in life. She has impacted these young women on the pitch, in the classroom, in the community, and in life. Academically, more than 200 student athletes have been honored by the NFACA as part of their national academic squad. Off campus, Coach King emphasized the importance of community service in the many projects in which the team has participated. And she has mentored hundreds of aspiring players and future student athletes through the Little Stags Field Hockey program. Please join Fairfield University President Dr. Mark Nemec, Vice President of Athletics Paul Schlickman, Senior Associate Athletics Director Allison Sexton, the Stags Field Hockey program, and the university community in recognizing head coach Jackie Kane for her 30 years as a coach and a mentor at Fairfield University. Today she's joined by her husband Charlie and sons Jack and Tom. and gentlemen, here are the starting lineup. First for Stonehill, a junior forward, number 3, Michaela Striculis. A sophomore defender, number 5, Julieta San Antonio. A freshman defender, number 8, Tia Marie Harlow. A freshman defender, number 13, Jill Miller. A freshman midfielder, number 14, Emma McGrory. A freshman midfielder, number 16, Nadine Jansen. A freshman midfielder, number 19, Ruth Van Poel. A sophomore midfielder, number 21, Tyra Stark. A freshman midfielder, number 24, Sienna DeRose. And a senior goalkeeper, number 42, Shannon Conti. The head coach is Danielle Avenatti. She's assisted by Mia Borley. And here's the starting lineup for Fairfield University. A junior forward, number 1, Alex Senior. A junior forward, number 5, Riley Lalou. A senior defender, number 11, Madison Millhouse. A sophomore midfielder, number 12, Nora Hellman. A sophomore defender, number 14, Catherine Fitzgerald. A sophomore midfielder, number 16, Catalina Ness. A junior forward, number 17, Connie Hoffman. A junior defender, number 19, Pilar Mangati. A junior midfielder, number 21, Alex Teferi. A senior midfielder, number 28, Augustana Castellucci. And a senior goalkeeper, number 88, Peyton Ron. Fairfield's head coach is Jackie Kane. She's assisted by Madeline Iglesias and Susanna Townsend. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and honor America as Jack Leonard, son of Jackie Kane, will sing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Moments away from the start of this one between Fairfield and Stonehill. Thanks again for spending your Friday afternoon here with us on the Stag Sports Network. You just heard the son of Jackie Kane, Jack Leonard, singing the national anthem eloquently as ever, as Fairfield playing their final home game under Coach Kane, coming into today with 260 career victories, has led this program to 5 tournament titles. However, for them to try and get number 6, they would need to win today. And yes, win and you're in. A loss, there are other scenarios that could see Fairfield into the postseason, but an opportunity for the Stags to hold serve at home, something that Fairfield has done ever so often under the tenure of Coach Kane. Give the starters. Alex Sr. is in the field, wears 1. Riley Loop joins her up top, wears 5. Madison Millhouse, who calls herself a bit of a goal scorer now with 2 goals and 2 assists this season. The traditional outside back, though, in the midfield wears 11. Nor Hellemans in the lineup at center back wears 12. Catherine Fitzgerald joins her 14. 16 is Catalina Ness, 17. Connie Hoffman. Pilar Mengani wears 19. Alice Piferi, who is one of the leaders, in fact, the leader in the conference in assists with 9. And Augustina Castellucci mans the central defensive midfield role. In goal, a little bit of a change today. Emily Stribe has usually been the starter for Fairfield, but Peyton Ron gets a turn in goal. The senior from Orange, Connecticut, making start number 5 on the season, 6 total games played. There is the Fairfield lineup, 9-7 on the season, 5-2 in conference play, though back-to-back losses on the road, both by 1 goal, losing to St. Francis out in Western PA last Friday, and then a wild 4-3 showing on Sunday. Went down to Villanova and trailed by 3 goals, became 4, but then they had a wild rally to get back into it, lost by 1. Trying to get some momentum into the postseason, meanwhile facing a Stonehill team that's in great form. 2 wins from 2 last weekend, both in conference play, knocking off Sacred Heart 2-1, and then 3-0 over Mercyhurst. The starters today for Stonehill, Shannon Conti is in goal, as she has done throughout the course of her career, with a 2.05 goals against and a 72 save percentage. It'll be Stonehill to get the opening possession, moving from right to left on your screen with the white jerseys, purple numbers. Give it the starters after this, but we are underway for the regular season home finale for Fairfield Field Hockey. And this is the last game of the season for Stonehill. Again, for head coach Danielle Aviani, needs to win, needs help from elsewhere. We'll get you the scenarios as we go through today's show. But Michaela Striculis is in the field, wears 3. 5 is Julieta D'Antonio. Number 6 is Sarah Latham. 8 is Tia May Harlos, a freshman from Germany. Is Fairfield into the attack with Alex Senior. Connie Hoffman trying to play it down the line. It stays on for Pilar Mengani. Fairfield trying to generate the first corner of the match. Hoffman trapped up on the end line, but reverses back, and Fairfield will maintain possession. The rest of the starters for the visitors, Jill Miller wears 13. 14, Emma McGrory. 16 is Nadine Janssen. 19 is Roos Van Swol. 21, Tyra Stark. She's the main player to look for in terms of offense for Stonehill with 6 goals and 1 assist. And 24 is Sienna Duroc. Stonehill trying to break out of the right side, but Fairfield doing a nice job penning them in as Catherine Fitzgerald pinches up just a little bit. And now Stonehill will try and play from out of the back. It's a Stonehill team that is having the best season in Division I program history. They made the move up from the Division II Northeast 10 ranks a couple of seasons ago. As it's played to this near side for Jill Miller. That first season where Stonehill just only had 3 wins, and a number of them came against other Division II to Division I teams coming up. Fairfield a chance now to break on the attack. Ness into the circle and to be a corner to come. Good persistence work by Fairfield on the counter press, winning the ball back, and now an opportunity for them to strike. Yeah, Stonehill then improved by 2 wins last year, going from 3 to 5, and now this year 5 to 7. But their best season in NEC action, 4-3, but now they have to fend off this penalty corner. A Fairfield team that's 4th in the Northeast Conference, averaging over 7.6 corners per match. Shannon Conti in goal, who was a second-team All-Conference member in 2022, the program's first season in D1 field hockey. Has made 90 saves this year, as many as 15 in a match. That was at the end of September against Maine. It will be Alice Piferi to insert. Mengani sweeps it towards the circle, and it goes in! There was a deflection off the sweep from Mengani, and Fairfield take the lead. And that's what you want to do on a day like today. Play from in front, score early. Ideally, you want to score often, but hitting the back of the cage inside the first 2 minutes is exactly what the doctor ordered. See who gets confirmation of the goal. Piferi, as well as Mengani, will get assists. Alex Senior is the one that gets the deflection goal. So Senior, her 5th goal of the season, her 18th of her career. And someone that has really rounded into form nicely over the month of October. Had a goal and assist in that victory against Wagner. Also scored in victories against Mercyhurst and Merrimack. Actually had one taken off the board. Looked like she had a double against Merrimack, but Ended up one of those goals going to Riley Leloup, or excuse me, it was Wagner, my apologies, in that game, as that ball goes out of play back over to Fairfield. That goal coming in the third minute of action, or excuse me, the second minute of action. And that really will relieve some of the pressure for Fairfield, knowing that there's obviously a lot riding on this game, a lot of emotion coming into it as well. Last time that they're playing at home, last time Coach Kane will be coaching at this facility. So you want to go out on a high note, but you don't want to let things linger. And that's what Fairfield have done. You'll notice the amount of debris on the field with the leaves falling down. Our outstanding facilities crew literally did everything that they could. They had the leaf blowers out until 1 minute left in warm-ups, but it's just part of late autumn here in New England. I guess you should say middle part of autumn, but late part in the fall season, athletics speaking. So players will have to play through the conditions. It also got really windy here as well. Really kind of picked up at around 1 o'clock or so. And with a low-setting sun with daylight savings time kicking in on Sunday, I mean, this is about, the perfect day here in Fairfield, but it's probably about the most challenging conditions, and it's also rather warm out. So it's a trifecta of what these players have to deal through. As Stonehill attempt to sweep out of the back, going towards the penalty circle. Fairfield with some issues, not able to link up with a back pass, and it'll be Stonehill possession at the 23. Sienna Duroc, the freshman from Belgium with 4 assists this year, will restart play. It's a very young Stonehill team with 12 first-year players, along with 6 sophomores. Did graduate one of the program's greatest goal scorers last year in Reagan Hickey, who is a former Division II All-American with the program before coming up and really didn't drop a beat at 8 goals last season. Stonehill have hit the back of the cage 25 times this year. Good work by Leloup to slow down Duroc. Tyra Stark able to recover possession. D'Antonio muscle her way through. It's knocked out of bounds, and it will stay with the visitors. Fairfield preparing a quartet of changes. Sarah Latham, junior from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, gets it out wide. Advantage being played. This will be brought back just outside the circle. Stonehill, the road woes is something that is a bit of a concern for this team, which is why it was important for them to keep it as close as possible. They've had a really good run at home, especially this year. In fact, they're perfect at home. But when it comes to playing matches away from northeastern Massachusetts, that's where things have gotten a little tricky. They are 0-10 away from home, but 7-0 in home matches and when they're the home team in neutral site matches. It's a bit of a wayward pass from Jill Miller, and just able to get a stick on it was TMA Harlos, but in fact it was too strong for the freshman out of Stuttgart, Germany. And Fairfield will win it back. Little counter press. Connie Hoffman into the circle. Stopped, albeit for just a moment, and actually it's coming out. Possession back over to the Skyhawks as Duroc was able to get her stick in the way. If you're just joining us here on the Stag Sports Network, first goal for Fairfield coming less than 2 minutes into the contest off of a corner. Alex Sr. with the final touch, deflecting in Pilar Mengatti's strike towards goal. Good work by Connie Hoffman, being persistent, taking the ball right off of Jill Miller. As Fairfield making those changes. Aaron McGinley onto the field, as I believe as well Cortland Schumacher coming on as well, though I just noticed down off to my right, Madison Millhouse for Fairfield has limped off the field and is seeking assistance from the athletic trainer. Not putting a lot of weight. That's not something that you want to see this close to postseason play. She's trying to jog it off in front of us as Stonehill trying to break down the right side, doing well just to keep it on with Stonehill. They'll stay with the Skyhawks as Fairfield not able to clear it out of their own end safely. But the extension, that was Emma McGrory, freshman from East Hampton, New York. 4 goals, 3 assists this year. 5 yards not taken, though, by Stonehill before passing in. So it'll be possession back over to Fairfield. Yeah, where the belief will be there, though, for Stonehill, they are peaking at the right time. September, not a great part of the season for them, but they had a 4-match winning streak to begin the month of October. Overtime victory at home against Ryder, knocking off St. Louis, Merrimack, both by shutout, and then knocking off Queens University out of Charlotte. And a tough weekend down in the Metro New York and Long Island area where they lost to Wagner in overtime 3-2 and then got absolutely pummeled by LIU 5-0, which is actually a scoreline that comes back to hurt them a little bit because LIU are still very much in the mix for a potential berth into the NEC tournament. For Stonehill, they need losses from elsewhere, St. Francis being one of those teams. But St. Francis are playing winless Merrimack. There's only one team that is done with league play. That would be Mercyhurst. Sacred Heart, by virtue of losing to Fairfield on last Friday, or I should say a couple of Fridays ago. They are now also eliminated from postseason berth, and that means we're going to have a brand new tournament champion as Sacred Heart won a pair of 1-0 extra time thrillers in the conference tournament last year. Stonehill trying to build from the back once again. Fairfield just closing down a lot of access points. As Latham goes wide, but Fairfield win it back. That's a foul on Stonehill as LaLoupe will play quickly ahead towards Alex Sr. Trying to turn it around. Sr. once again sends it towards the circle, but that just is wide of the stretch of McGinley. They'll be back over to the Skyhawks. Looks like Hoffman and Castellucci getting ready to come back on for Fairfield, and first-time entrance for Camille Perlov as well as Maura Summers. A number of Stonehill reserves starting to go on a jog and get loose. They'll be back with Stonehill off of the foul on Senior, and here comes 3 or 4 changes getting ready to go for the Skyhawks. Catherine Fitzgerald just checks off for Fairfield. Maura Summers now taking her place, the sophomore from Berlin, New Jersey, who's played now 6 times this year. Tyra Stark in the middle. Wears 21, 6 goals, 13 total points this year. Had 4 goals, 2 assists last year. As Erin McGinley doing a nice job counter-pressing. Won it off of a player and foul on Nadine Janssen. Yeah, the advantage, though, for Coach Aviani is the amount of players that she's going to bring back that get a lot of match run. In fact, there's only just 2 seniors on the squad this year for the Skyhawks. One of those being Story Rounds, who has only just played 8 games in 3 years where she's seen action. Erin McGinley trying to recover that. Goes behind, though. And the other senior that's on the squad is, in fact, the goalie in Shannon Conti. So practically the entire field-playing squad will return for the Skyhawks. Do remember that because of their transitionary period coming up from Division II to Division I, still not eligible to play in the NCAA tournament, but they are allowed to participate in conference tournament action. So there is still something to play for. Stark had it on her, and actually was there foul? There was, so it does come back to Stonehill as they're looking to build back into this game after Fairfield getting the opening goal just under 2 minutes in. Haven't really tested Conti since. Done a really nice job winning back the ball a number of times inside their attacking third of the field. Stonehill now starting to grow into this match a little bit as Latham plays near side with Jill Miller looking to send it down the line, but stretching is Hannah Bickford, the freshman from Gorham, Maine. We'll be back over to Fairfield. Castellucci now with Pilar Mengatti, who set up that goal off of a corner. She'll send it the length, was intended to find Erin McGinley. Stonehill, a team that does show a bit going forward. They average just shy of 12 shots per match, concede about 12, but another giveaway. Connie Hoffman, nice move into the circle. Hoffman centers it across, but that goes by the reach of a player at the far post. That was Camille Perlov. That was in acres of space, but the ball just passed a little bit behind her, unlucky. Fairfield had something there. Again, that high pressure in defense coming through. Fitzgerald doing a really nice job winning it back in a high area. She's been a focal point for what Fairfield's done defensively, not only today, but over the course of the season. As Catherine just completing her now sophomore season of Norristown, Pennsylvania, started 13 of now the team's 17 matches. Big ball from Castellucci on the switch. There's Fairfield patient in their build-up. Mengati towards the circle, gets knocked down, still being jousted for, but in fact coming out. There's once again Camille Perloff in a dangerous area, but the ball hit a foot, so Fairfield again quickly recovering their defensive shape, and Perloff does a nice job winning it back for her team. 3 in the circle for Fairfield to aim at as we're under the final 90 seconds of this opening quarter. Castellucci ahead, finds Hoffman. Kylie Corcoran in the match for Fairfield, and she took a little bit of a stumble. Good to see Madison Millhouse checking back to the scorer's table after coming off and had to be treated for a lower body injury. It's good pressure by Riley LaLoupe. That's something that she's really showcased over the course of this season. Just a relentless pursuit to win the ball back for her team at any point in the field. Really, as they say, to get stuck in and make something of nothing. And that's something that you want. It doesn't matter really what sport. If you're defending with goals or baskets, you want all players having a mentality to win back the ball in dangerous areas. High pressing, counter pressing, and LaLoupe has taken that full-throated this year. They don't track those stats, but she probably has to have at least a few dozen interceptions this year. As with only a few seconds left in the quarter, Castellucci will just take it into the corner. And a foot, and that's going to do it here for the opening period. Will Fairfield get on the board under 2 minutes in? Alex Senior with the tally, deflecting a Pilar Mengati corner, and the Stags lead 1-0 after the end of one. Stay with us. You're watching the Stag Sports Network.
There's a lot to get involved in. Movie nights on campus, tons of service opportunities, President's Ball, Red Sea Madness.
Fairfield has provided me countless opportunities through clubs and activities and events to broaden my horizon.
You can drive 2 miles and you can be in a beautiful downtown area with a beach that's awesome. Take a train for an hour and then you'll be right in New York City.
I think a big part of growth within extracurriculars is building connections and forming lasting friendships.
There's so much that the campus provides for us to really optimize our student experience. It's really fantastic.
Welcome back here to Fairfield, Connecticut. Just about ready to start the second quarter of action between the Stags and the Skyhawks. Fairfield getting their lone goal less than 2 minutes in. Alex Senior deflecting home a corner. That is the lone tally in this one, and the lone shot of this match as well, but Fairfield cashing in on that opportunity. All right, so here are the scenarios that both of these teams need in terms of qualifying for next weekend's NEC postseason tournament. A win in Fairfield is in. There is really no question about it. They can get as high as the number 2 seed, and the way that they would do that is win this match in Ryder knocks off Wagner, Fairfield has the tiebreaker over the Seahawks, but not the Bronx. So if Wagner knocks off Ryder later today, then it'll be Fairfield 3, Wagner 2, and it'll be a rematch of last year's quarterfinal. If Fairfield loses this match, they would need St. Francis to lose, and Fairfield would be the number 4 seed. Stonehill can qualify for the postseason with a win, and then either a St. Francis loss or an LIU loss. The other matches are all happening later today. St. Francis will be taking on Merrimack. Ryder against Wagner. That game is down in New Jersey. And all these games are happening after 5 o'clock because all the facilities that these matches are being played at have lights, so they don't have to worry about the low-setting sun. They could just play them at night. And then LIU hosts Sacred Heart. And you bet for both of these teams on this field, they are very much hoping that it's Sacred Heart, even though they are not playing for anything outside of pride, to try and get a result from today's action. But Stonehill would also need to turn this result around and try and win and pick up what would be their first victory away from home this season in terms of a true road match. Actually, I take that back. The St. Francis match, originally I thought it was scheduled for 5 o'clock. That is at 3 o'clock, so that game is happening as we speak, as Fairfield trying to break forward. The LIU match against Sacred Heart, and they also had that flipped around. Sacred Heart hosts that match. Still has lights up at Johnson Field on the campus of Yale University. That's at 5, and then Wagner, Ryder round out the season. That match is purely for seeding as well as who gets the regular season crown and the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. As Fairfield again pressing high up the field. Connie Hoffman and Alex Sr. doing a nice job to force a pass over to Augustina Castellucci. Catherine Fitzgerald towards the top of the circle. Fairfield asking for a corner. Still being on as Hoffman tried to send it towards goal. Didn't get a clean contact on it. Hoffman, though, recovers it back. Catalina Ness and line, and it's a corner. Well, it's really nicely done there from Fairfield. A couple of waves of counter-attacking, counter-press, and they eventually win the ball in good areas. Connie Hoffman with the latter of the 2 sequences to stop the ball from Stonehill clearing it out, just working it out outside their own 16. And then Fairfield get the corner, their second of the match. They've already scored once off the set piece. And trying to send what is a rather large crowd here on this Friday afternoon into Delight. It will be Alice Peferi to insert. Alex Sr. at the top of the circle, as is Connie Hoffman. Castellucci and Ness. The Castle's at the top, and the short option is Pilar Mengatti. Mengatti again towards the circle. It's knocked down. Ness keeps it on. Sends it back in. Was there a foot? There was not. Ness, though, is able to recover. Gets herself in line. Plays it across goal. And kicked away by Conti as Riley LaLoupe was in the area. That's the first save of the afternoon for the Stonehill goalie. But now is there going to be a stoppage and a potential ask for a upgrade to a corner? And yes, it does sound like Fairfield are going to be utilizing their referral here. And so the officials are going to make the trot upstairs and have a look at it. And of course, for those that are watching at home, it basically is a monitor that is about, 4 feet off to my right. So unfortunately, this is the part of the show where I can't actually say anything because the referees that would be, well, for lack of a better term, maybe influencing something. I can ask, though, at least what they're going to be looking for in this sequence as our officials come upstairs. So as the officials look over what the referral from Fairfield is asking for, just a reminder, Fairfield will be playing one more match away from home this season. This is not their regular season finale. They'll be down at Delaware on Sunday, which is a match that actually really worked out nicely for Fairfield if they are able to take care of their business here at home You're going to play a team that traditionally out of the Coastal Athletic Association, they're always amongst the top of the conference, so it's a good standards match, something that you can keep your levels high up. And meanwhile, for Stonehill, this is it. So they need to win this match today. They don't have any more this season. It will be their most wins in a Division I season. So again, Fairfield are asking for a referral here. Augustina Castellucci brought things to a halt. Okay, so if you guys are able to hear that through the microphone, the call will stand in terms of the action. Fairfield will be keeping their referral because there is no video advice to even look at the call. And what I mean to say is you need clear and conclusive evidence to look at something. So in this case, there is nothing to go at. And I can tell you there's a broad view of what the field looks like. So basically what's going to happen is Fairfield will keep the referral, but it will be ball to Fairfield on the sideline in front of us. It's kind of the layman's version of the answer. I do appreciate it, by the way, when the officials do clearly say what is actually A, they're looking for, and B, what is the result of it. Can speak by experience of places elsewhere. Officials do not always, and that's not their job to let everybody know. Their job is to let the teams know and officiate the match. But the fact that time was taken to let everybody here in the press box know is actually really awesome, and genuinely appreciate that. Granted, also, it's not often that the commentary position is literally right next to the review center, so that's neither here nor there. We all can't be the ACC where they have literally someone mic'd up at the international level, which you get that as well, which is why watching the Olympics and hockey being played, it was really fun to see because you can hear the communication between the video official and the officials on the field. I think, what was it, a couple of years ago when Fairfield played in the NEC final, I think it was 22, that they had one of the umpires that officiated in the Tokyo Olympics, which was really fun. So you got to see someone who has officiated the game literally at the highest level come adjudicate a game in college field hockey. A foul on Catalina Ness leads to a chance here, but that pass goes beyond the stretch. That was Michaela Strikulis, junior from New Hampshire. Boy, that was a break for Fairfield because they turned the ball over in a great area for Stonehill to counter. Didn't even need to be that ambitious with the passing, but it was a heavy through ball, nothing that Strikulis could really do about it. And this is one of those for Fairfield where they defensively, when you have a lot of possession, you have to stay locked in. Fairfield will like to get all the backs forward and be part of the passing scheme in the attacking half of the field, but when you have to do your defensive duties, you cannot take a moment off because Stonehill have proven over the course of this year that they will make you pay for any mistakes. That ball goes beyond the reach of Connie Hoffman. These two teams have met twice in previous seasons when Stonehill coming up from the Division II to Division I level. Fairfield perfect 2-0, and they've outscored Stonehill 10-1. And 2 years ago, actually about a weekend before this one, in the 22 season, Fairfield won 5-0. Alex Sr. and Aaron McGinley had assists in that game. And then last year up at Stonehill, Alex Sr., Pilar Mangati, and Augustina Castellucci were amongst the goal scorers. Also noted, Carmel Van Dyke often factored into these sorts of matches as an aerial ball, basically almost making it a jump ball, but not touched by anybody. Peyton Ron just letting it go into the cage. And for those wondering why Ron just did that, you need to have someone contact the ball inside the 16-meter circle, which is surrounding the goal. If no one does it, then you basically treat the goal like an out of bounds. Just let it roll and you get the ball back. By the way, genuinely awesome to see the amount of Fairfield coaches from different sports as well as student athletes who have taken the time, altered their practice schedules a little bit to make sure that they're here for this match. Of course, factoring in classes are still going on as well, but you saw on your picture top left, mostly you have a smattering of head coaches across the majority of Fairfield teams that were able to do so. You know, Fairfield women's basketball head coach Carly Thibault-Dudanis spoke to the Fairfield Field Hockey team a couple of days ago and was really excited about, you know, I mean, you're never excited, of course, when you have to just kind of change your schedule a little bit to make sure they get out, but she made it a point to say, doesn't matter when we fly to Arkansas to open our season on Monday, we are getting here as a team to watch this group play on Friday. Possession to Stonehill right in front of the Fairfield bench. And basketball season will be here literally on Monday. The women go to Arkansas. The men go to Rhode Island. Just shows the amount of great support that all the teams here have with Fairfield. As that ball, was it last touched by Fairfield? Yes, it was. It's coming back to Stonehill at the 23. No, it's not. Looked like the end line official pointed possession back to Stonehill, but the back judge said otherwise. So it'll be Fairfield ball out of the back. We're almost halfway gone through the second quarter. A little bit of a delay earlier in this period for a Fairfield referral, which they got to keep due to the lack of evidence to look at it. Did have a look at a monitor. Great poke check by Alex Sr. Knocked it towards Aaron McGinley. Jamel Perloff sprinting to keep that close, but it's recovered by the visitors. And a whistle against Fairfield as now Sarah Latham has been steady out of the back today for Stonehill. We'll wind it forward. I was looking for Tyra Stark. That's a decent little deflection to find Carly Mirabli, the sophomore from Loudonville, New York. Loudonville, of course, the home of Siena College, who not all that long ago also had a Division I field hockey program, but elected to close operations on it back when it was the old MAC Field Hockey Conference. In a corner. Well, the official upgrading that call to a corner, saying Fairfield not giving 5 yards off the restart. So an opportunity now, and really it's the first time for the Skyhawks that they've had a chance to really establish any sort of offensive pressure. 0 shots, I think maybe 2 touches inside the penalty circle. And that's being a little generous, but they have a great opportunity to try and level things here. Stonehill average 7 corners per match. Scored on a few of them as well. Let's see what type of routine they can come up with here. It will be Mirabli to insert. 3 goals on the season thus far. Didn't have any assists last year nor this year for the sophomore. The short option is Julieta D'Antonio, who has a goal and 2 assists this season. Tyra Stark is the main option at the top of the circle with her 6 goals. First time that Peyton Ron is going to face a test and goal this afternoon. It goes short. D'Antonio sweeps it towards Cage. Oh, what a save by Ron! It took a late deflection, and Peyton was nearly committed already to go to the full dive. Sticks up the blocker pad and puts it behind. Well, earlier this week for Fairfield men's soccer, Victor Nikolov pulled out a very similar sort of save off of a free kick. In their match against Sacred Heart, Peyton Ron, Victor Nikolov shake hands. That's 2 outstanding stops during this week for Fairfield goalies. And also to note as well, the goalie that's going to be off to our left is going to be looking into the sun, especially in the second half. It'll be Shannon Conti. Would not be surprised to see the goalie put a piece of tape that basically would be on top of the mast to reflect the sun away from it, because it will be absolutely brutal for the rest of this match. Again, with the clocks going back on Sunday, Fairfield traditionally play their home matches on Fridays at 3. It is always a little bit of a problem. Starting in October, it's going to be really tough, and that's where that save from Ron becomes extra special. picked the ball up late anyways off of a deflection and then comes up with that stop. Take a bow. Under 6 minutes to play in this second quarter. As Cortland Schumacher takes a bit of a tumble and also gives the foul. So I believe I saw it was Cortland's birthday today, so happy birthday to her. As a corner gets called, and I think that ball actually went into the cage. And Jill Miller turning around and absolutely ripping one. Oh, excuse me, it was not Miller. That was Roos Van Swol. The official very quick on calling the corner in that sequence. So let's see what type of routine Stonehill come up with here. Again, had a really good one with the short variety going for Julieta D'Antonio. It's the short and then got a deflection. Van Zwol, the shot, and it's knocked wide. Fairfield defensive penalty corner unit doing their job. I think actually the official, brought that back for dangerous on the contact. That ball was going above, I believe, the wood. In layman's terms, if you take what you call in ice hockey a slap shot, it doesn't stay on the wood side of the goal, then it immediately comes out. And I believe that's what the official went to. Fairfield ended up taking that out, but it was last touched by Stonehill. We haven't seen Fairfield trying to break quickly off restarts. Their counter press on the opposite side of the field has been very good. But not to say it's been slow, but they haven't had the same amount of urgency when they've broken out of the back on their own. That was a needle in a haystack type pass to find Autumn Bardish. Fairfield break down the right. Bardish had a great goal off of a corner last week at St. Francis. Advantage being played on here. Good work by Camille Perlov to keep going. Referee plays advantage twice. Now Madison Millhouse was most definitely shaken off what little bit of a knock she took early on in the first quarter. And for Bardish scoring that goal, that was her first of the season. Also had an assist in her Fairfield home debut against Holy Cross. Former Merrimack College player, and a local product is Autumn out of Norwalk, Connecticut. Also just seeing right now, checking out, is Carly Mirabli. A little slow to get back to the field as well, kind of favoring the right leg as she takes a seat on the bench. Fairfield preparing 5 changes. Should be half the players on the field minus the goalie. Mengati wires it ahead. Nice stop by Millhouse. Has 2 in the circle to aim for. Sends it across. It goes all the way through. It was intended for Cortland Schumacher, but it never got there. And now Stonehill can break. Ball ahead. Emma McGrory charging forward. She's got Sienna Duroc close with her. And another corner. Another advantage being played by the official, then an upgrade. That's the third time that's happened where the referee on the opposite side of the field has upgraded. You can see Pilar Mengati shrugging to the official saying, what more can we do in that situation? But it's going to be the third corner of this period for Stonehill, who again, remember, like Fairfield, they have to win this match in order to have any chance of getting into the postseason. They will then need help elsewhere. Fairfield winning in. But this would go a long way as they've had dangerous looks on corners in this period. The change in insert is Mirabli was the one taking the latter 2. Now it's going to be Jill Miller who will insert. Goes short, not a great insert. Michaela Strikulis just wide. We had a great look at that from our perspective here. And it's never a good sign when you have players, 2 of them on the post, waving at shots, because that might have been one of those that snuck in. It just went wide, and here comes the counter press from Duroc. Fairfield right now do really well to get themselves into halftime here. They are out shooting Stonehill 5-2 in this game, but in this quarter alone, it's been Stonehill have had the much better chances of scoring. And again, when you have to have that mentality that Stonehill have today of you can't leave anything out there. This is their last game of the season. They have to win. Fairfield obviously winning as well, but they have other routes to get into the postseason tournament. You, of course, don't want to lose and hope for results happening elsewhere, but Stonehill have to go for broke. And yes, even though going a goal down inside of 2 minutes, they feel like they've still got something to play for today. That is an errant pass from Duroc. Nor Hellman's checking in. 90 seconds to play in the second period. No change in score, but the tide has definitely shifted just a little bit. Fairfield patient, building out of the back. Nor Hellman's. See that line of three for Stonehill. They're not ready to engage, but basically once a player takes it just about to the halfway line, then they break. That time Duroc was a little quick to jump, and now Fairfield can play. Back pass, though, from Senior goes beyond Contalina Ness. Fairfield need to be diligent here because there's still a bit of time. And yeah, a miscue from Pifferi. About 30 seconds left to go in the quarter. You don't need to hit it and hope for Stonehill. You could still build through your systems. Janssen ahead. That gets knocked down before it got to Emma McGrory. Emma, though, able to split two defenders. Keeps on to that pass knocked down by Augustina Castellucci. Has to be careful, though, with three Stonehill players around her. Able to wind it to find Catherine Fitzgerald, excuse me. That's good by Hoffman to see that one deflect out, and that's going to do it for this first half. Well, same scoreline that we entered this quarter as we exit it. However, certainly a lot to still be fought for these two teams, Fairfield and Stonehill, in a win necessity scenario, but it's Fairfield to lead after 30 minutes by way of the second-minute goal from Alex Senior. I'll step aside for halftime, rejoin you in 10 minutes for the start of the third as you're watching the Stag Sports Network.
There's a lot to get involved in. Movie nights on campus, tons of service opportunities, President's Ball, Red Sea Madness.
Fairfield has provided me countless opportunities through clubs and activities and events to broaden my horizon.
You can drive 2 miles and you can be in a beautiful downtown area with a beach that's awesome. Take a train for an hour and then you'll be right in New York City.
I think a big part of growth within extracurriculars is building connections and forming lasting friendships.
There's so much that the campus provides for us to really optimize our student experience. It's really fantastic.
Fairfield University's Egan School of Nursing is now offering its nationally ranked and recognized undergraduate nursing program here in Austin.
Fairfield goes above and beyond to make sure that each student is prepared and takes care of their well-being.
I highly recommend this program. Everything about it was just a wonderful experience.
Egan Excellence comes to Austin. Become a nurse in 15 months with Fairfield Egan's accelerated second-degree nursing program. Visit fairfield.edu/nursing-austin.
There's a lot to get involved in. Movie nights on campus, tons of service opportunities, President's Ball, Red Sea Madness.
Fairfield has provided me countless opportunities through clubs and activities and events to broaden my horizon.
You can drive 2 miles and you can be in a beautiful downtown area with a beach that's awesome. Take a train for an hour and then you'll be right in New York City.
I think a big part of growth within extracurriculars is building connections and forming lasting friendships.
There's so much that the campus provides for us to really optimize our student experience. It's really fantastic.
Fairfield University's Egan School of Nursing is now offering its nationally ranked and recognized undergraduate nursing program here in Austin.
Fairfield goes above and beyond to make sure that each student is prepared and takes care of their well-being.
I highly recommend this program. Everything about it was just a wonderful experience.
Egan Excellence comes to Austin. Become a nurse in 15 months with Fairfield Egan's accelerated second-degree nursing program. Visit fairfield.edu/nursing-austin.
There's a lot to get involved in. Movie nights on campus, tons of service opportunities, President's Ball, Red Sea Madness.
Fairfield has provided me countless opportunities through clubs and activities and events to broaden my horizon.
You can drive 2 miles and you can be in a beautiful downtown area with a beach that's awesome. Take a train for an hour and then you'll be right in New York City.
I think a big part of growth within extracurriculars is building connections and forming lasting friendships.
There's so much that the campus provides for us to really optimize our student experience. It's really fantastic.
Fairfield University's Egan School of Nursing is now offering its nationally ranked and recognized undergraduate nursing program here in Austin.
Fairfield goes above and beyond to make sure that each student is prepared and takes care of their well-being.
I highly recommend this program. Everything about it was just a wonderful experience.
Egan Excellence comes to Austin. Become a nurse in 15 months with Fairfield Egan's accelerated second-degree nursing program. Visit fairfield.edu/nursing-austin. Fairfield University's Egan School of Nursing is now offering